And so, hi everyone, welcome to Type Talks. Today we're here to discuss, are all ENTPs debaters? What do you think, Sir ENTP?
I think it's debatable. It depends on, I guess you want to define debater. Okay. In general, I think debating, it's something we're probably good at and we might enjoy because of this sheer mental banter. Now, I was never a member of a debating group at school or anywhere else. And I think looking at the stereotype, it's also two things to distinguish. One is banter for the fun of it, or being sort of kind of combative and just argue for the sake of arguing. And I think that's a stereotype that is associated with ENTP, which I personally don't necessarily identify with. And yeah, it's an incorrect stereotype. So I think we do have the ability to, we can enjoy it as long as it's in a fun sort of jovial way, but it doesn't define us, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, NT types can look like they're debating when they're talking with one another just because of the sheer intellectual tossing back and forth that they do. They want to logically pick apart things, and it can look to a third party as a little bit aggressive sometimes, but it's not. It's more of the just wanting to refine your logical sword with someone. And it's typically done in a way where it doesn't mean any harm. It's just wanting to get to the bottom of figuring something out, banging the blocks to figure out if it makes sense or not.
I agree. I'm not saying we can't be real dicks. Some of us, or even me personally, it's just the extreme stereotype doesn't hold, right? And I second your statement. It's something about NTs. It's how we explore things, and there is the idea of playing devil's advocate or picking another side. But again, as a type, I think ENTPs, we're too jovial, we're too fun to necessarily want to be mean-spirited and destroy somebody, because it's not fun for us, right?
Yeah. So the debate is more of a banter, more of a lighthearted thing. It's more of a exploratory thing, and E wants to interact and play with the ideas in its environment. And so if it notices something, it might just poke at it a little bit, but it's not necessarily in an aggressive or confrontational way. It might be in a challenging way. So they might want to figure out how your statement holds against certain things, but it's more of the intellectual challenge rather than being a dick to be a dick.
Yeah, it is context dependent. It's sort of, we're handed, TI and NE hand us a sharp weapon. FE also lets us sort of understand people, predict their behavior, even guide them. So I would say there have been scenarios where I can be a dick, but then I'm a deliberate dick because I'm out to destroy somebody, or really somebody gets to me. I think it's something where I can get aggressive and sort of subtle, but it's not the main demeanor. You got a sharp knife in your pocket, but you don't run around slashing people with it. But if you have to, you might.
Yeah, it's a tool that's there, but it may not be fully defining.
Yeah, and that's why, because when they talk about a stereotype, they call us the debater. It makes me yawn, but I do like the inventor better because it has sort of a different bend of a similar use, of an analogous use of the same tools, and it's just my personal preference, right? So I wonder, actually, Joyce, for example, INTPs, I could see being good debaters. Now, we may pull the wool over their eyes by sort of fudging here and there, but I could say they might be the more hardcore, hard-ass debaters. What do you think about that?
I think that's a good hypothesis. Their feeling function is last, so they might be more likely to engage in rigorous debate because the thinking is even higher and there's a bigger divide there. Whereas like an ENTP may poke up to a certain extent and then notice your reaction and then calibrate off of that. An INTP may be more unaware of how the people around them are fully reacting to what they're saying. And so they may go further into the debate without realizing how it's impacting other people until it's too late and they've already offended people. And so they might debate accidentally in a harsher way.
Yeah, and I'm actually wondering it depends on the context and the person and the subject. I would say debating an INTP could be quite challenging because TI being first, they will give me a good run for my money. I might be more nimble in the NE department, And if I have an external audience, I could use FE to kind of appeal to them, even though it's not the nature of my argument. I'm kind of cheating by appealing to something that's not fully logical. So I would say INTPs are probably the hardest to debate. If it came down to raw TI, I mean, that's their primary function. I'm arrogant. I can say, I can do that. But it would be a very different fight. They might actually say, oh, but I won this on technicality. And I say, yeah, but I won it on crowd perception, right? So there's no clear winner, but I would say I do respect INTPs. But their strength is also their weakness, because once they drone and go into their hardcore model, they might be kind of constrained by it. They're less willing to jump, and they don't look at the external audience, which often is present in a debate. I mean, depends on the context, right? So
yeah. And so are there any reasons why an ENTP may not relate to the debater stereotype?
Yeah, it really depends on the stereotype. Could be two things. Debater, if it's neutral, could be, oh yeah, somebody that has wit and can sort of on the fly construct an argument that's solid and nimble. But I think the word has sort of a slightly bad connotation, because people think debating and bickering. I remember there's actually a meme. It's sort of, you see two faces, a guy and a girl yelling at each other, and I think it states, it's like, oh, arguing because it's better than sex. And it defines ENTP, which, again, any stereotype is probably overblown, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. It is very much overblown. So ENTPs may not relate to the debater title because of the negative connotations around the word debater.
Mm-hmm.
But they can be good at intellectual banter for sure. And they can be very questioning sometimes too. But it's not necessarily in a malevolent way. Depends on the context and the person. And so, any closing thoughts on the topic?
Yeah, let's have them call us inventor. I just like the term better.
I think that fits a lot. Extroverted intuition is very, like, the word inventor goes very well with it, and you lead with it too. It has Leonardo da Vinci vibes because he's an ENTP inventor too.
We like to claim him. Obviously, I can't talk to him, but he's appealing on so many levels. He's also eccentric and neurotic, so yeah, I would go for that, because and really. Now, I'm from Germany originally, so their debating is not as big a part of school, whatever. But I haven't seen too many debaters, even in university context, that it's like where every ENTP flocks to. I think there's more INTPs in there than there are ENTPs.
Yeah, and there are some ENFPs there too, in a surprising way.
Yeah, they're like, whoa. I pull a fast one on an INTP, but then the ENFP just, whoa, hits it out of nowhere. We're like, do we take this argument or not? But it's just so ingenious and crazy, right?
Exactly, yeah. And so the moral of the story is the inventor is the better name for the ENTP. All right, case closed. All right.
Can you update the literature out there? Because there's so much crap on the web that states otherwise. You're going to write a book, right? Your book better. If they give us a label, don't make it the debater.
I might just troll you, and I might just make it the debater. You always got to troll the troll. That's the method of life.
I think INFJs can make really good trolls if they really want to.
Oh my gosh, I love how many tangents this went on. And I was like, we're going to talk about the debater topic, and you're like, INTPs, other things. All right. And so before we go on another tangent, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.
See you.